I felt like I had just come through the other side of a rainbow. I felt like I was reborn. I felt like a completely new person with a new library of knowledge. Hello, people. Today I'm going to tell you the story about the time I smoked the world's strongest psychedelic in Mexico. It's called Bufo. Basically, it's toad venom. You squeeze the glands of the toad, you dry it, you smoke it. I found out about this place. Actually, in one of my videos, there's a Ukrainian girl that I interviewed. She told me that she did the Bufo in Mexico. She recommended it very highly to me. I had heard about it in Colombia. You know, it's popular. Well, I wouldn't say it's popular, but it's heard of. You know, it's around in the psychedelic circles that I was in, doing ayahuasca and mushrooms and stuff. So I'd heard about it. People know that it's very strong. And I was fully aware of this when the girl told me about her experience. And immediately was terrified upon hearing about it, that it was in Mexico. I felt like it was challenging me. It was calling me to do it. I met this girl very serendipitously. So my taxi was taking me from the airport to my hotel in Mexico. I saw this Ukrainian war protest in the center of Cancun. I was like, hey, bro, let me out. I got out, started interviewing people, and she was one of the girls that I interviewed. And then she told me there's Bufo there, and it just felt very kind of natural the way it all unfolded. I contacted a guy in Playa del Carmen. I went to go meet him, and had a very powerful experience. I had a lot of anxiety before going in, just knowing this is the world's strongest psychedelic. You never really know what you're getting yourself into with psychedelics, let alone the strongest one that exists. And, you know, I've done ayahuasca a number of times. I smoked DMT. You know, I've taken acid a bunch. And so, you know, I have a little bit of experience. But I feel like my experience actually made it more scary because I know how these experiences can go, or I know how unpredictable they are. I know that you never really know how they're going to go, in all honesty. They kind of dissolve your ego. They dissolve your pride, your hubris, and they make you realize none of us are really in control. Control is an illusion. And you're especially not in control when you're smoking the strongest psychedelic known to man. You can guarantee that you will not be in control in that situation. So I was pretty scared. So I show up to this guy's house. It's all decked out in like Bufo, like toad paraphernalia. There's like all these beautiful paintings and sanctuaries and crystals, and it's a very nice apartment in Playa del Carmen. And there's supposed to be 2 other people there with me doing it, but they bailed at the last second. So we're actually going to do it on the beach in the morning, but they bailed. So he's like, hey, come to this house. It's like this Bufo sanctuary. So I show up, super nice place, and it's just me. It's just me and the shaman. And yeah, it was a very, you know, intimate experience. No, he did not touch me, I don't think. Yeah, so I like recited this little prayer about how I accept myself and I love myself, and I accept those around me who have done harm to me or, you know, acted negatively towards me in any way. I forgive them. I understand that, you know, they inherit their trauma, and I understand that none of us are really in control, and we're all made of love. And it was a very beautiful prayer that I said. And he told me to take a few deep breaths. He told me how to smoke it. You basically just inhale. It's just one long, slow inhale. And as he's teaching me how to smoke it, I'm getting really nervous, man. Really nervous. Not knowing where I'm going to go. You know, I've heard experiences. I've heard, you know, a mixed bag of experiences with this psychedelic. People like Joe Rogan smoke it, and no, I think it was Michael Pollan. It was a guest on a show. Said he smoked it and he just evaporated. He completely disappeared. The Michael Pollan that he knew before was totally gone. It was pure white, nothingness. There was no objects whatsoever. The entire universe just evaporated in the blink of an eye. And to me, that sounded very terrifying. That was not a very encouraging story. It's not something I want to think about right before I'm going to smoke this. But what do you know? That's what I was thinking about. But, there's people like Mike Tyson that smoke it. They smoked it a handful of times and it helps them tremendously. So, again, with psychedelics, you're not really sure what's going to happen. You are taking a risk, if I'm being honest. But the best thing you can do is walk into it with a full heart, good intentions. You want to heal yourself. You want to become a better person. You want to embrace love in your life. And that's what I was trying to do. So I say this meditation, I say this prayer, which really helped get me in the mindset. And took one big long hit. And man, it's probably the biggest hit of anything I've ever taken in my life. I filled up my lungs so much with this stuff that I could not breathe in anymore. As I'm hitting it, the shaman's hand is on the pipe, and his hand is like, what do you call it? Crystallizing? It's like I saw his hand, but then I saw like an infinite number of his other hands. Like one hand looked like a bunch of hands going out in all these directions. And on his hand were like small, very intricate shapes. And this is when I'm like, okay, yeah, it's starting to happen. And he's like, all right, you're done. And I lay back on the pillows. And for a second, I didn't feel like I was totally there. I was still having like conscious thought, like me, Connor, was still there. And which, according to all accounts, doesn't happen. Like people just usually evaporate really quick and they go into the experience very, very, very fast. But for me, I felt like I was kind of fighting it. I felt like I was still there, partially. And so in my mind, I was like, man, is this working? Like, am I doing this wrong? Am I having a bad experience? And according to the shaman, I just laid back with my eyes like rolled back in my head, and I was out for a few minutes. And for those few minutes, I don't know what happened. Maybe that's where I was just fighting it. Maybe that's where I was in my head saying, oh, I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know. Next thing I know, I'm on my stomach, and he has this like really nice rug with all these pillows. Next thing I know, I'm on my stomach, face down in the pillows, and I felt like I was swimming. No. I felt all of the universal wisdom, the ancient, sacred, all-knowing wisdom vibrating through every pore, every cell in my body. And the wisdom, I could feel it. I could feel the vibration, the vibrational wisdom of the energy. Okay, bear with me, guys. I know this sounds like some hippie shit, okay? I could feel the vibrational wisdom in my body, and I could see it too. It was like, it's hard to explain. It's kind of like when you drop like a water droplet into a pool or something, kind of like that ripple. That's how I saw it, and I felt it. And that vibrational ripple was infinitely colorful and infinitely wise. And again, it was pouring through my body. But at the same time, I could feel it in my body. I felt like I was in it at the same time. So like it was in me and I was in it. Wow. As I'm explaining it, I realize how weird it sounds. It makes sense to me. But what I gathered is that, this ancient, beautiful love and understanding, the infinite wisdom that is the universe, that is life, I guess, is in me, and it's all around me. So I am made of love and understanding, and so is everything around me. And I can't really understate how powerful of a feeling it was. It was like I was experiencing God. It was like God was imparting all of his wisdom onto me. It's very hard to explain, but that's how it feels. Just the infinite wisdom and understanding of the universe for all of eternity. That's what it felt like. Extremely powerful experience. It was like I was in a pool of wisdom, ancient, deep knowledge, and the knowledge was also in me. And the pool was a vibration of colors and shapes and vibrations and love and understanding. I hope that makes sense. I hope I haven't lost you yet. Incredibly a powerful experience. It was kind of like, if you've ever done yoga, sometimes they do like a sound bath. They have this like kind of bowl, and then they have this like stick or mallet that they hit it with, and it vibrates this really powerful frequency. I felt like that was happening in every pore of my body. And the vibration was infinite wisdom. I was going to say, hey guys, trust me, I'm not crazy, but I might be crazy. So, shortly after that, I felt a bit of a purge. I felt a lot of negative emotions come up. I felt a lot of my darkness, if you will. Kind of similar to my first ayahuasca experience. I felt shame, I felt guilt, I felt anger, I felt greed, I felt jealousy, lust. I felt all these disgusting emotions that have passed through me over the months, the years, my lifetime. I felt them coming to the surface in crystal clear clarity. And it was intense. I felt physically these things come up. Like, when you... So, I'm of the belief that negative emotions, any emotion really, manifests itself in the body. It does for me at least. Anxiety, grief, shame, guilt, even excitement or love, like all these things feel a certain way in your body. And I felt all of these darker emotions in my body. Very intense. And I felt like I was kind of purging them. Like the medicine was showing them to me so it could help me release them. Right? And that's a principle in meditation, right? Like you have to fully understand, fully be mindful of your experience, and know that everything is impermanent, and you fully experience it, and it's more intense than if you weren't meditating, but then it's more temporary than if you weren't meditating. Right? So I'm of the belief that these psychedelic experiences do teach you things about meditation, and those two things are very, intertwined. And it was kind of showing me, like, hey, you don't have to hold on to these things. They're here. We're going to help you purge them. But just know that they won't be here forever. Right? You can let them go. So I'll let them go. And next, it got a little weird. I kind of physically manifested these negative emotions, and I physically purged them. Not throwing up, but I was kind of writhing on the floor, and I felt this dark energy in me, and I could feel it being pulled out of me. And while this is happening, the shaman is like above me. I think he has like one of those little sound bath thingies, or I can't remember what he was doing. He was saying some prayer and like doing some smoke ritual. I don't really know what was going on. I know that he was helping me pass peacefully through the spirit realm, whatever that means. And as this is happening, I'm kind of making a lot of weird sounds. I'm groaning. I'm making like demonic snake sounds, like with my throat. No one really ever taught me how to make these sounds. I don't know where they came from. It was just like groaning and gargling and very strange demonic sounds. Maybe one of you guys can help me understand what was happening, because I am at a loss. All I know is I was making a lot of weird foreign sounds that I've never made in my life. And what I gather is that I was, purging these demons, if you will, purging these emotions. But honestly, at the time, it really did feel like snakes and demons were pouring out of me. Wow. I'm speaking from the heart, and then I'll say it out loud and I'll hear it myself, and I'm like, wow, this just sounds very strange. So these demons, these snakes are pouring out of me, and I'm gargling and I'm like exhaling so hard, like so fully. My lungs are completely empty after each like gargle and like little groan, completely empty. And then I'll inhale and then just let more demons out. And that went on for a few minutes, I think. The next inhale, I inhaled really fully, and then exhale, and I just started laughing uncontrollably. Harder than I've ever laughed in my life. From the belly. Like such a hearty, wholesome, wholehearted laugh. Just a jolly old chuckle. I don't think I've ever laughed that hard in my life. It was the most genuine laugh I've ever had. It was fantastic. I felt pure. I felt so good. I felt exuberant. I felt ecstatic. So happy. I had seen the ultimate love and power and understanding, wisdom of the universe. I had experienced it fully, and it was in me. It's still there now. I'm made of love. Everything around me is made of love. I understand. I see the purity of the universe. And I'm laying there, like slowly, kind of coming to my senses. And I'm just ecstatic that I have this knowledge now. I couldn't be happier. Never laughed so hard in my life. Like I was saying earlier, like I was completely expelling the demons. I was exhaling all of my air from my lungs. The same thing happened when I was laughing. I would inhale fully, laugh till I had nothing left in my lungs. Until I was completely empty from my lungs, but I was still laughing. I was still chuckling and moving around and laughing without any air in my lungs. I was just so happy. And it was such a pure happiness too. It had so much depth to it because of the knowledge I had just received. Just a beautiful, beautiful experience. As I was coming to, I felt like I could still see the love and understanding in everything around me. Everything had this rainbow tint to it. Everything had this multicolored, complex, beautiful color to it. I felt like I had just come through the other side of a rainbow. I felt like I was reborn. I felt like a completely new person with a new library of knowledge. It's beautiful. Like the bath, the vibrational wisdom, love, understanding pool I was talking about earlier, the vibrational, pool. I felt like I had just bathed in this pool, this rainbow loving, beautiful, ancient wisdom pool. And coming out of the experience, I felt like I was still dripping with the knowledge. Yeah, it felt like I came through the other side of a rainbow. Everything had a rainbow tint to it. It was beautiful, beautiful. I was so happy. There was a dog in the shaman's house, like this little chihuahua, and he was sitting next to me as I was coming to, and I just like sat down and I just kissed him on his little forehead, and I just hugged him and petted him and told him everything was gonna be okay. And I was just loving on this dog. I feel like, even now I feel like I have a deeper reservoir of love within me. I see that the love is actually infinite. It's all around us. We can embrace it. It's the most powerful force in the universe. Love and understanding. And when you practice those things, especially with people that you usually lack patience with, including yourself, when you practice those things, life is easier. You are happier. Understanding other people, understanding yourself, loving other people, these are very powerful things, and they make your life better. And they're inherent to existence. Well, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. As you can tell, I had a very powerful experience. It was kind of like a mini ayahuasca experience. It's like 5 times as strong. Obviously much shorter. It only lasted 20, 25, maybe even 30 minutes. I don't know how long I was writhing around on the floor for. Yeah, I think the one difficulty I have with the experience is I received all of this information, and it is kind of difficult to process in daily life. I received all of this ancient, beautiful, divine, holy knowledge within the course of 30 minutes. Whereas, ayahuasca or something like LSD, you're sitting with the experience for hours, you're kind of going in and out of phases, you're digesting it slowly at your own pace, or not always at your own pace, but you're digesting it much more slowly. And with the Bufo, it's all kind of just shot into your consciousness all at once. So it has been challenging to integrate the experience for me. You smoke the shit, and then within an hour you're back to normal, but with all this new information in your head. And you're kind of going about daily life, interacting with the same people, doing the same things, working the same job, hanging out with the same friends. And it is a challenge. You start to question things like, well, why am I working this job? Why am I spending time with this person? Why am I taking part in these activities? So I have started to question a lot of things about my old hobbies. Am I really even into these hobbies anymore? Am I even really friends with these people anymore? After seeing the holy, divine knowledge, ancient wisdom of the universe, it does make you challenge your old beliefs. Like, is spending time with this girl truly spreading love and understanding, or is it something else? Is my interest in doing XYZ to serve me, or is it to help others? And I gotta say, I haven't really kind of let go of those things. When you're working a certain job, you can't just quit the next day. Or if you're great friends with some people, it is difficult to just walk away all of a sudden. I think it's going to help my next trip. I think it's really going to help the integration process. I'm not going to spill the beans just yet, but I'll give you a hint. I sold my car. This is a different car. It's my grandmother's truck. I sold my car I sold my car to be able to afford the next trip that I'm going on. So it's a big one. If you want exclusive access, behind the scenes, early access to my trip details, head over to the Patreon, $3 a month. Where was I going with this? Oh, I think it's really going to help my next trip. I'm going to be gone for a long time. It's really going to help the integration process, I think, because I'll be able to spend time with new people, find new activities that I like, explore new places. Everything will be new, and it's a chance to restart my life. Because really, after the Bufo, I feel reborn. I feel like a new person. Things that used to interest me don't interest me as much, or the thought of them is not as exciting as it used to be. For example, usually I wake up, I make breakfast, I put on a podcast. Just listening to comedians or scientists or whoever just banter for hours. And now I'm just not so interested in that. I want to appreciate art more. I want to listen to a book on tape. I want to look at a painting. I want to listen to music. And, that's just a small example. But you can imagine that kind of permeates throughout my life. Even with vlogging. I'll be very transparent with you guys. Even with vlogging, I feel like I want to reach a deeper level. I want to reach people on a deeper level than I have been doing. I want to help people. I want to make them laugh. And yeah, so it's just been a little destabilizing. I'm like, man, am I even into vlogging anymore? Am I even into making content anymore? The answer, I think, is yes, but I need to find a deeper level of communication to interact with people. It is a little more challenging to integrate the Bufo experience, but I feel like it's worth it. You have to run with the ideas that you learned on Bufo. You have to integrate them. And it is a little more challenging, but I still think it's a worthy venture, spreading love and understanding. Also, one more thing. I went into the Bufo. I wanted to drink less. I wanted to, use less drugs. I had one beer like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and that was it over the last 4 weeks. So pretty much totally dry for almost the last month. So that's great. That's a big step for me. All right, guys. That's about all I got. Really, thank you so much for listening. I feel like I am taking a chance with some of these psychedelic stories. I might not reach some of you guys as deeply as others, but for those that are still enjoying it, for those who are still watching, I appreciate you greatly. Much love. All right, guys. Until the next one. Peace.